Alright guys, so here you can see I have a contour line drawing of my ladybug, and what I want to do is go over what are sort of the next steps of doing the contour line. So we've done contour lines with our shoes, we've done contour lines pretty much all of the first 6 weeks of class. What I'm really looking for in this contour line is that we're getting accurate proportions. So you're using these triangles here and the triangles in your photograph and really looking at, if I have this much space in here and here, do I have this much space here and here in the same triangle? When it comes to the more detailed aspect of the contour line, what I'm going to be looking at is, let's take this area right in here. So you can see I have this heart shape that's drawn, and then we have the white areas, and there's a lot of texture in here which I might use stippling for. But for right now, let's just sort of take a general look. I'm going to take out my value chart so you guys can see, just so I can do some comparison. So this heart shape right here really to me matches this black value, which is a 7 on our shading scale. So I'm just going to really lightly draw in some 7s. Now I'm drawing my contour line in a pink pencil so that you can see it in the demonstration. You should be using a 2B, an 2H, or an HB pencil for your contour line. So we're going to get pretty detailed. Now I'm going to look at this value right here. This is not a pure white. It is close to a number 2 with some areas that are lighter. So for the sake of just being simplistic here, I'm going to go ahead and write a 2 in here and a 2 over here. I'm going to look at this space in here, and I see that I have this little shape here that's slightly lighter, like a light triangle. And right next to this heart is a little bit of a lighter spot. So when I compare these values, they're about in the 3 range. So I'm going to put a 3 and a 3, and I'm going to draw those lightly so that as I shade in, we would like those numbers to disappear like they were never there. This area in here, I'm going to sort of once again compare that to my value chart. And I'm thinking that this looks like a nice 4. I'm going to come on over to the other side now, and I see that I've got this line that sort of goes back off into that spot, so I'm going to put that in there. That line is pretty light, so I'm probably going to go ahead and use the eraser pencil later after I do a tissue rub to erase that whole section out. Now there are a lot of different values in this area, but what I want to do is look at what's the main value. So the main value in here, I really feel like it matches a 3. So I'm going to go ahead and write a 3. And we have all these little stipplings that are in here. And those stipplings are really closer to probably a 6. So when I go in there, I'm going to do my general number 3 value, and then I'm going to add some stippling with a, probably a 4B pencil to get this darker value. And for these lighter areas, I'm going to go ahead and stipple with an eraser pencil. But we're not doing any shading right now. Right now we're just focusing on getting the shapes of the value. We're kind of making a paint by number. If you guys are familiar with those old school paint by numbers you could get, you'd look at the picture, it's all divided up with different areas. You have the little paints that tell you what paint goes in what section. We're sort of doing the same thing here. This takes a little bit of time. However, it's going to help make your shading process a lot smoother and easier because you're doing a lot of the technical thinking right now, and we're really focusing on trying to get the right shape. One of the tricks to drawing is if you have the right shape of the value, even if the value is slightly off, the object is still going to look really good. It's that shape and that texture which helps make it look three-dimensional that gives us form that's going to allow it to look realistic, and that's what we're going for. So you can see down in the head, I already did quite a few areas, so I have like most of this is a 7, and here we've got 4, and same thing, we'll probably do some stippling techniques. You can see along this edge here, I'm probably going to go ahead and draw this in. This looks to be about a 2, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my 2 there. As I come around here, the edge going this way, that also looks like a 2 to me. Now there is this sort of curved area that happens that comes around to this spot. And if I start comparing those with values, I'm going to say that this area in here is mostly a 4. Same thing, we're going to have some different textures going in with stippling. And then we have this really nice bright spot. So we're just going to check out our spot. So it's going to be right about in here is this brighter spot, which I'm going to do at about a 2. And then it sort of lightens up around in this area. So all of this area around this 2, even though I'm going to have some stippling, I'm going to go ahead and make these our 3s. So the idea is when I'm done with my drawing, I should have a really detailed map of the different values. So when I start to shade, it's really easy to me right away. I can go, oh look, here's my number 7. I need to make sure that these match. Okay, here's my number 3. Do these match? Here's my number 4. Do these match? So we really want to go along and try to get these values matching as close as we can so that overall our drawing will end up looking as close to this photograph as possible. So I hope that this helped explain to some of you a little bit more in depth what I'm looking for when it comes to a really detailed contour. My goal is that we finish contour line drawing in the next sort of week. That will give us about 2.5 weeks to do the contour line, and that'll give us about 4 weeks for the shading, possibly 5 weeks, depending on where we're at as we come close to the end of that 4-week period. So thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in class. Thanks.